2020 annual meeting of the Phippsburg Land Trust. Thank you for joining us virtually to recognize and celebrate our land trust and our special places in Phippsburg. They've meant a great deal to us this year because it's been a really hard and unusual year. Thank you also for being a part of preserving and protecting our over 1,000 acres of land in Phippsburg for our children, our grandchildren, and future generations.
Hi, this is Elna Joseph from the Phippsburg Land Trust, and this little movie shows some of the highlights of what the Land Trust has done this year.
The biggest project for the Phippsburg Land Trust in 2020 was the acquisition of the 241-acre McKay and Dooley Farm preserves through the generosity of the John Morse family. Here is board member Dot Kelly.
Newest parcels from John Morse. We received both the McKay Preserve and the adjacent Dooley Preserve, Dooley Farm Preserve. We were able to acquire them utilizing a marsh preservation grant that was done in combination with the Kennebec Estuary Land Trust.
I met up with board members Dan Dowd and Dot Kelly to get a tour of the property and learn more about the trails they're planning.
So we're just about the southern corner of the Center Pond Coulee Preserve, and this is where our connector trail to the McKay Farm Preserve is going to be. South of this is the McKay Farm Preserve, which is roughly 90 acres and includes some really nice rock outcroppings and a really significant wetland.
Dan, how did you decide where to put the trail?
Well, Dot and I really did a lot of exploring through both of these new preserves before we made any really even rough decisions about where to put them. But then once we discovered a bunch of different rock outcroppings, wetlands of interest, interesting topography, we sort of made decisions about where the trail should be, keeping in mind probably the easiest trail to build.
Yes.
The least requirement for bridging or really manual labor to get people in here, and also trying to take advantage of natural trails that already existed thanks to the help of our deer neighbors. So this is one of the first large rock outcroppings that heads north-south and abuts this large wetland at the southern part of Center Pond Coulee Preserve and the northern part of the McKay Preserve. And that we bring the trail right to this edge so people can appreciate it.
So these erratics are some of my favorite features in our properties. Rocks that were deposited by the glacial melt and have not likely been moved since. So here's a good example.
So we're on the eastern shore of Dooley Pond, which is the northwestern border of the Dooley Farm Preserve. Where we're standing is a really large outcropping that has a really nice view of the pond itself, and there will be a loop trail that will connect to the eastern part of the preserve, which is over near the Parkerhead Swamp, and to what some people refer as the Gorge. And then it will trail along the southern end of this piece of land along the Parkerhead Swamp. Ideally, the Dooley Farm Preserve will be a significant step toward securing a long trail. For a long time, the Phippsburg Land Trust has had this goal of creating a long trail that would connect the Center Pond Coulee Preserve all the way down to at least the Morse Marsh Preserve. So going from Center Pond to our new preserve, the McKay Preserve, to this Dooley Farm Preserve, connecting up to Ridgewell, and then eventually down to the Morse Marsh, which gives you views down to the Atlantic.
So the business part of our annual meeting will be done online this year. Our annual financial statements and the minutes of our last annual meeting can be reviewed at our website, www.phippsburglandtrust.org. The slate of directors we're electing this year will also be there, along with our deep gratitude and thanks for the directors who are leaving us this time.
This summer, the wooden boardwalk at Sprague Pond has been replaced by a 200 by 4 foot wide raised boardwalk. This will prevent the dangerous situation that was created when there were high rains or lots of beaver activity. Stone artist Kevin Sudeth, known for these bird carvings at the Cooley Center Pond, has been working on a new carving at the Ridgewell Preserve. Dan Dowd and I met up with him to see how the work is progressing. We found him a little ways off the trail, working on his project.
This looks great.
So an idea is to do a series like the thing taking off and flying across this. So I have a second frame and then one where it's flying more and then one where it's cruising.
Wow.
I chose this site because I really like the location and how there's some kind of social areas further down there. It's it had a tall rock that ran a good length. The rock was all covered with moss and elephant ears, which I cleaned off of it. And so that's the first time I've done that. It's heavily textured. So I experimented with grinding it down and then carving, and I think this works better to have just the image carved in the background left all toothy and heavily textured.
Where did you get the heron photos?
I took it one day going home on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I need one more for the cruising. I want it cruising with its wings up, and I don't have that good photo, but that's the easier.
Yeah.
It has sort of little built-in furniture, which I think makes it pleasant.
Yeah.
Makes it a pleasant place. Makes it sort of a destination.
Good spot for a picnic.
This is the first rock that I cleaned up. It was also covered with moss and elephant ears. And then I thought, well, I better see if the carving will work before I do too much cleanup.
Right.
Please go online and vote for the Land Trust business items and to elect our directors. You'll be able to participate in the annual meeting by voting at www.phippsburglandtrust.org in an online survey through the month of August. If we have your email address, we'll be sending you the link by email, and otherwise details will be in our newsletter, which you should be receiving shortly if it hasn't yet arrived.
In the spring of 2020, the COVID pandemic shut down schools and most businesses. Many sought peace, solace, exercise, and educational opportunities in nature on the Land Trust trails. Two of these people, Helen and Margaret Webb, explored trails every day and posted wonderful photos on Facebook.
Hi, this is Helen.
Hi, this is Margaret.
We're walking on one of our favorite trails in Phippsburg, the White Trail between the town forest, Shortridge, and the Ridgewell Preserve. We've been walking trails in Phippsburg ever since the coronavirus shutdown started.
In March, and when we started, we were in jackets and sweaters,
Now it's 90 degrees and short and t-shirt. We found all different kinds of plants that we didn't know about and really enjoyed watching things appear that weren't there when we started, when we went back to the same trails. So we'd just like to say thank you to the Land Trust and to the Nature Conservancy and the town for giving us so many beautiful places to walk in town.
So thank you again for being a part of the Phippsburg Land Trust. We hope you've enjoyed our annual meeting presentation, put together by Land Trust Board member Elna Joseph Beihauer. See you on the trails.